What's going on, everybody? It's David Palmer, Leo King, and this is my show, Uncut Astrology, where I take off the mask and go deep behind the veil for this week's astrological forecast for the week of March 23rd through the 29th of 2016. And it is Fate Train City, whoop, whoop. And I'm trying to come up with a new term as well with the Fate Train because remember, we are in eclipse time, and literally we start this week off with a lunar eclipse. And these are extreme times. These are extreme changing moments. These are chapter shifting times. And if you look at this last 2 weeks, the buildup, boy, oh boy, you can see the ship turning in your life a whole new direction and the new feelings that are coming inside. And we have also shifted into this whole new energy, Aries. This is where the sun is exalted. This is where we really push forward in our life. We really look at things for what we want, what we're going to achieve. How interesting that the sun and Mercury are conjuncting, which means our thoughts, our ideas, our understandings of our life are becoming clear. Now, it's very ironic to have this time because most of 2016 is a confusing, crazy, neurotic, all over the place, I don't know which direction I'm going year. But for some reason, this is one of those clear windows where it's much clearer to see things. So I would use this week to your advantage as realizing that this is the mirror without fog. This is the headlights on without one out. This is a moment in our life where there is extreme clarity in very unclear times. I hope that makes sense to everybody. But let's talk about this lunar eclipse first. The lunar eclipse in Libra, and this is the last eclipse in Libra. We have had a whole slew of them for the last couple years, and in Aries, and we are finally ending this Aries-Libra eclipse story. And this has been dealing with relationships, identities. This has been dealing with things out of balance, things that our ego have been coming into conflict with. But when you look at this lunar eclipse, it is opposing the sun and Mercury. It has Mars stimulating all of this. So this has to deal with our wants, our needs, the things that we really are starting to understand. It can almost be like a light switch has turned on. Remember, Aries is in the head. Aries is when you wake up in the morning. Bam! That is why it is the start of the chart. That's why it comes after Pisces. That's why it starts the first house and it starts the rising. We are in a time where, bam! The light switch is on. But how ironic, a lunar eclipse to come right in Libra, of where there's a lot to weigh out. But what have we been weighing out too long? What have we been weighing out that has gotten in the way of getting with what we want? You know, these are going to be difficult times because it's not easy when you see relationships this week. Venus is in Pisces where it loves to be, but unfortunately it's coming into a very negative hard T-square. It's coming to get ready to conjunct the South Node by the end of the week, and it's about to come over Chiron. And when you mix this with a lunar eclipse in Libra, this has to deal with relationship difficulties and how they are not coming into alignment with your life the right way. And do you resolve them? Do you leave them? Do you build new partnerships? That's a lot of the question. Mars is in Sagittarius and it's pushing all this. Bigger doors. I want to go here. We need to go bigger. We need to see bigger. And this can become difficult because Saturn this week, right after this lunar eclipse, literally as the lunar eclipse is happening on Wednesday the 23rd, on the 24th and 25th, Saturn stations, stops, and goes retrograde. Now, Saturn is in Sagittarius, and it's retrograding in Sagittarius. And Saturn, when it stops, it puts the whole world on a stop in your life to take it extremely seriously about major decision points, major growing up, major lessons to be learned, and major looks at which doors you're going to open in your life. And are they in harmony with what you want? Are they in alignment with where you want to go? This has to deal with your belief structure. This has to deal with if you're willing to really invest in partnerships, relationships that are really based off your same visions, based off your same doors that you're opening. But with Jupiter square Saturn that's happening during this eclipse and this whole week, remember Jupiter is in Virgo, Saturn is in Sagittarius, and they're exactly squaring, and Saturn retrograde is being squared by Jupiter, which means with this serious decision, there is a lot of doors that you need to look at, and there's a lot of options, And that you need to really, really make sure that you're not so set on it only being one way. Because Jupiter in Virgo kind of goes, oh, I only see one door. But Saturn in Sagittarius is saying, look at all the doors. And with the square to Jupiter as well, whenever you see Saturn square Jupiter, it's always like, you know, there's always a lot of decisions to make and maybe not a lot of options. When really, I think you might be feeling like there aren't a lot of options or that there is only way out, that you need to do this in your life, but you don't. Venus, combining with it being in a T-square, Venus is going to square Saturn. Venus is going to oppose Jupiter. Venus square Saturn is, you have to step up and own your value in a very difficult way. You need to really see your long-term vision and see if it's really being aspected correctly, like in your life. Like, do you really feel that your worth is there? Do you really feel like it's in the right place? These are also difficult decisions with partnerships. It could feel like, man, I got to make a really big choice here in my life, and I got to really look at my long-term lifestyle. Does this person fit in my lifestyle right? Does this partnership fit in my lifestyle right? Woo! Here it is. This is the week, folks, right here. And how ironic when I talk about clarity, here's the Sun and Mercury like, well, I know what I want, and this isn't working. This will work, and this won't work. And when you combine that with Jupiter and Virgo, it can become overly critical and a little bit egotistical too. And this is kind of the battle of the ego and the battle of what's right and what's not right, which kind of can make it feel very egotistical, but at the same time, I gotta be honest, you know, there are lessons here that, you know, with the moon coming in Scorpio this week in the middle of all this, it's like you've got boundaries that you have to set. Here's the Sun and Mercury finally coming into the more personal, beautiful, you know, positive signs of Aries through Virgo, which has to deal with the upper part of the chart and the day part of the chart. But how ironic that we're having a lunar eclipse and then the moon this week is going to go through Scorpio and then into Sagittarius, the lower domain. And it's like, here we are trying to build this life and build it up in our higher part of ourself, but yet our emotions are scraping the bottom and having to own and deal with setting emotional boundaries and dealing with stepping up with your self-worth. And Venus in Pisces has a hard time with that. Venus in Pisces is almost too forgiving, too loving, and too compassionate on the negative side. And when it comes into an opposition with Jupiter, it's like, well, here's the reality. It's saying here, you know, it's the old man saying, this is the reality. Are you lost in this? And with Saturn in Sagittarius, it's the old man saying, hey, you know, are you opening up the right doors? Is this taking you in the right place? So this is going to be a very difficult time because it might affect how you make money too. This is Venus dealing with your self-worth, your money. This might be you changing how you're going to have to make money. This might be changing how money works in your life. This might be you really changing on how you're going to operate your skills in your life and your self-worth and how you operate in partnership and difficult decisions in relationships. The Sun trines Mars this week. And this means that this is a time where we're having to take action. We're having to really go. And it's happening in fire signs. And you don't see this a lot. You do not see this a lot. And it's kind of interesting that when the Sun comes into Leo, Mars will be in Scorpio. So you're not going to get another Sun trine Mars in fire, okay, this year and for a while. So this is a very rare moment to go and do what you got to do because Mars is getting ready to retrograde. This is right before Saturn retrogrades this lunar eclipse. And then once it does retrograde, I think it's like decisions have been made, concreting in, and you're reflecting over the last 6 months of your life and what happened? How did it end up to this place today? How did all this end up? And you're going to have to review all that for the next 5 months. And that's where we're at right now. And with Venus coming on the South Node and Chiron by the end of this week, it's like a massive healing's going to have to happen. A lot of grief, a lot of despair, but a lot of healing. A lot of shedding things, a lot of letting go, a lot of letting go of what's happened, and needing to look forward into the future, needing to look forward into the new, needing to really start to see like you understand with what you want. And if you hang on the fence with certain situations for too long, you'll never get where you need to go. And this is a lot about what has been inhibiting you from getting where you need to go. Because at the end of the day, the Sun in exaltation is trumping this lunar eclipse in Libra. I'm sorry to say. The sun is in exaltation. It's having a beautiful trine to Mars this week. And Venus is in exaltation having negative aspects. What you want and what you need to become and who you need to be and what you need to stand up for to own that is on the table right now. And we are stepping into a time with the Saturn retrograde, but more importantly, we're getting ready for Mars to retrograde in April 19th. When that happens, the whole world slows down. Our whole momentum slows down. So this is going to be a gung-ho time to really kind of use this energy to make these big decisions, to make these big calls, because where you come after this, you're going to be for a while. And do you want to be stuck in something that you don't want to be stuck in? Because that's the truest Libra nature of all time, right? Libras get stuck in situations that they hate. Sorry, Libras. I know I love you all very much, but you guys love to get stuck in situations that are horrible. It's because Libra doesn't take the initiative to just get out of it. You're having to do that this week. Some people might say you're egotistical. Some people might say you're pushing too hard. But what's at stake is your value. What's at stake is what you're creating. What's at stake is, are you willing to sit and be stuck in something for an even longer period? Or are you going to finally take this out and this clarity that doesn't come through most of this year? And more importantly, making hard decisions to open up bigger and better doors. I am sending you all my best energy. I have to be very clear about something right now. I don't know what's going on with my app. Even my partnership with my app company is under a lot of scrutiny right now. I will put out a formal announcement about it as soon as I know all the details. But without getting too intense about it,
that means
I don't know what...
I can search the web for as soon as I know all the details.
I don't know how Siri just went off, but how ironic is that, right? I don't know all the details yet of exactly. I'm finding them out. This eclipse is bringing this whole app thing to a head. I will describe to the reasons why if I need to. That's all I'm going to say about that. But don't worry, the universe is doing things for some reason. At the end of the day, all I care about is you getting through this week and sending you love and sending you light and sending you hope. Because this is an extreme time. This is an extreme week. And all that matters is making sure that you don't lose your power of self, that you don't lose your value of who you are within, that you don't lose your bigger vision, that you don't lose your strength, your clarity for who you are, that you don't lose that so you get stuck into situations that you don't deserve, that you feel hanging on one side of the fence for too long and don't know which side to pick. The universe finally says that you can finally be able to understand that. And all I care about, seriously, I don't care about anything else. I don't care about my app. I don't care about whether you subscribe or not. I don't care about if you subscribe to this channel. I don't care about any of that other crap in my life right now. All I care about is you getting through this week and sending you love. That's it. That is it. That's all I care about. I don't care whatever happens in any other direction, because this is an extreme moment in your life. And I want you to know that I'm sending you great energy, and everybody below on the comments here on YouTube and wherever that this video is shown to you has your back too. I love you, and I'm sending you love. And I know we'll all get through this. And it's going to lead to something very powerful and very great, even though maybe you might not be able to see it in the middle of the moment. Thank you for all the support, for subscribing to me on my YouTube channel, and for the support through everything, through my app, through everything for the last 4 years. April 10th, 2012 is when I started doing a daily horoscope, and I have never stopped doing a daily horoscope. I am talking about doing a party in Southern California on April 10th for it. So if you're in California or you're even thinking about flying out here to come and hang out, I'm thinking about putting the event up information soon. I know it's kind of quick, but I'll let everybody know by next week on the Uncut. Thank you so much. I'm sending you the best. Happy eclipse. And we're doing live spiritual dance music on the 23rd at 1 p.m. Pacific. So if you're watching this right now early, live show. And if you want to watch the recordings of it, it's on spiritualdancemusic.com under archives. Thanks so much. I'm sending you the best, and I will see you on the next Uncut.